everybody. And what's that? Can I hear seagulls gently in the background?
Hang on. I've got to get the BBC sound effects tape down. Hang on, 1 second.
Yeah, sorry. Can I hear seagulls in the background? So, one more time. Oh, are those some seagulls I can see over there?
What a beautiful image that is, hey?
Oh, sorry.
We're making the ambience here. It's like you're there, isn't it?
Well, I am here, which is appropriate.
At the seaside, I mean.
All right, yeah. Well,
no.
I mean, that is appropriate for the PantoSplaining with me, Ben Baker, hello.
And me, John Matthews, hello.
Because, obviously, Panto's a very Christmassy thing, and even though most of them go on till, like, March and stuff, so we thought that we'll keep the same Panto poster ogling vibe that we have with our usual episodes, but we'll move it into a summer special kind of aspect.
Ooh.
And let's waste no more time by getting to the new poster.
Look at that. It's a real treat for the viewers and the listeners this month.
I mean, we are looking at the Russ Abbot all laughter show. Yes, all laughter, not some laughter, not occasional laughter, not blips of laughter, all laughter show.
Solid, non-stop laughter.
You know what? When you look at Russ Abbot, you think, I want solid. And that is what you're getting. At ABC Great Yarmouth in 1982. We've got some bigger names and small names here, so we'll throw
the names up in the air and see where they land. A completely random selection of showbiz names of 1982.
Although if they land in the order I've got them on my page, that would be best. Because
all the better.
We've got to start with Russ Abbot at the top. And I think if anyone's watching this who is below the age of 35, you might not have as much of an idea about Russ Abbot. You might only know him from, like, maybe seeing the video for Atmosphere, his 80s single on Worst Songs Ever lists or something like that.
I mean, you might recognise him from some of his straight roles in recent years on ITV dramas and such like, but...
I think the last thing he did, I can find, is a sitcom called Boomers, about 10 years ago. And also that picture with Captain Tom and Cliff Richard, where
if you remember him for anything, it's that picture of him with Sir Cliff Richard and Sir Captain Tom.
Although he died shortly after that, I will not appropriate any blame. No, I just think, when you've got a 100-year-old man meeting
another 100-year-old man,
that'll finish you off. What I'm saying is, Cliff Richard will finish you off if you so desire. So, Russ Abbot, when we were growing up, absolutely massive, one of the biggest stars in the UK, started with an act called the Black Abbots. That's where he gets his name from, because his name actually isn't Abbott. It's have you got it down what his actual name is?
Russ Alan Roberts.
Oh, rah.
But the thing about Black Abbots, knowing little about them before this, I kind of assumed that they all took the surname Abbott, kind of like a proto-Ramones or something like that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But it turns out it was only Russ that took the name, and even he had been on The Comedians as a solo act under his real name. And then realised that perhaps utilising his past as a Black Abbot might help him. And then he changed his name to Russ Abbot.
I must say, the first guaranteed appearance I found in the newspaper archive was in the Daily Mirror, which promoted his August 1972 appearance on, I think what would have been the middle of the 4th series of The Comedians, where he is billed as Russ Roberts.
It was definitely on The Comedians later in 72 as Russ Abbot. So at some point after his first appearance, he decided to go the commercial route.
Well, yeah. I mean, as I said, we don't know much about the Black Abbots necessarily. They had, like, modest chart success. They had a few singles out, and they even got a recording contract in 1977, I think, when they sort of pivoted more to comedy. But it was 1970 their big year, as they won, I believe, 5 times, at least 4 times on Opportunity Knocks, and they got into the final anyway. They did very, very well as an act, but Russ was always clearly the standout act. He was always the main attraction to it.
Wake up, little Susie, wake up. Now don't stop. It's broken, sound asleep. Wake up, little Susie, and we. Ring is over, it's 4 o'clock, and we're. Come on, wake up, little Susie. Would Mervyn mind if I had a kiss, Madeline? No? Give us a kiss, Mervyn. Oh, miss!
What was it, kid?
having the foggiest.
It strikes me that they're very much the Grumbleweeds kind of thing. They were a straight-ish band who started larking about on stage, and Russ turned out, as the drummer, turned out to be the comic. And the early appearances of famous Russ characters did appear as on stage with the Black Abbots throughout the 70s.
I was going through sort of old interviews with him, and the Mirror had asked him in 1982 why they switched to comedy. Says Russ, we were playing at a musician's panto in Chester. The comedy bit just happened. I didn't know how funny I was, which I may have done that in a more arch way than he was intending. That's a general path through. And yeah, he was sort of on various things like the comedians and Who Do You Do and all that in the 70s. And then got a show of his own. Well, it was as a sidekick. And he was actually paired with another face of the 70s in Freddie Starr's Variety Madhouse, which...
Listeners with longer memories may remember we've covered this in the past briefly, because was it Norman Collier was on it?
Yeah, Norman Collier was on it, yeah. He was part of the cast of that, which... it's worth that. I mean, it'll be on screen now, I assume. It's got an extraordinary animated title sequence, which looks like it's from an underground X-rated cartoon. But then it's just like a stage-based review. They're all online now. They weren't for a long time. But it's worth checking out because Abbott acts Star off the screen constantly. He just looks like the big star of the show. And Star's kind of like, his flubs are left in, and presumably because they had nothing else to put out. It's particularly interesting. I don't know if I mentioned this on the other episode that came up, but the studio rushes for one of the episodes is online. I don't know how these have survived since 1978, but this is a particularly involved This Is Your Life sketch with Star as, of course, Hitler.
Yeah.
But he's also playing all the other characters who are coming in to talk to Hitler. So it's a lot of stopping and starting. And Star is just bad-tempered, he's cocky, he's struggling to stay on script and just screaming at the director and the floor staff. Whilst Abbott's just sort of stood there kind of professional and pleasant throughout. Even at one point where Star actually uses the C word.
Cooper, man.
Yes, that's the one.
Not the C-U Jimmy word.
Oh, yes. We'll get there. We'll keep spelling out the word in more of his characters. Did he have a character called Cunderbolt? But apparently, it said, from what I can gather, Abbott was always down to get his own show, but because he blew Star off the screen, he got the Madhouse. That is kind of where he first became sort of a household figure, wasn't it, with the ITV Russ Abbott's Madhouse show.
Yeah, I mean, it started in 1980 and ran through the 80s under various names.
Yeah.
Russ Abbott's Madhouse, the Russ Abbott Show, and span off, sort of span off into the Les and Dustin's Laughter Show, mid-80s, which is broadly the same sort of thing with a different rotating cast.
Yeah.
Russ Abbott's Madhouse, famous for the Songs of Joy, Tears of Laughter theme song, which we may stick in now.
No.
What?
Living It Up. That's the theme tune to the Madhouse, Songs of Joy, the Russ Abbott Show. Very different things, as we'll get on to.
Was it really?
It was indeed, yeah.
We're rocking and we're rolling and we're tuning into Russ Abbott's Madhouse. We're laughing and we're rolling, gonna be a lot of gooning tonight. Ooh, the party's only starting and we're moving and we're grooving together. We're gonna raise the rafters, wanna hear a lot of laughter, alright. Ooh, yeah, living it up, bumping and jiving, living it up, ducking and diving.
Living it up, that one. And actually, we should mention the music, because Madhouse is full of songs. He actually got an album released.
Oh, yeah,
with
yeah.
fantastic parodies, including a Baffling Madness one, which is musically great, but sounds and looks nothing like Madness. I mean, if you see on screen now, Dennis, who we're going to talk about a bit more, he's sort of dressed in like post-apocalyptic rags whilst playing a synth.
It's a brilliant song written by Alan Ainsworth and Colin Bostock-Smith. As a song in its own right, it's great.
That's what my father told me, that's what my father said. And Daddy has most everything inside his preserved head. Yes, Father was the wisest man you'd ever wish to know. And that is true because you see, my father told me so.
As I said, that was a huge part of it, and obviously he went on to have a few hits, Atmosphere being the big one, not a cover of Joy Division, lols. But do you know that apparently Atmosphere was offered to Black Lace? And because it isn't very much in their style, but they
I
turned it down.
I did, and it really works if you imagine it as a Black Lace song. In sort of 85, after they'd come off the back of Agadoo and Do the Conga, it would have made a fantastic Black Lace hit in the summer of 1985.
Yeah, I sort of wonder why that one slipped through their pineapple stained fingers. But
I read somewhere that they said they had too many things on the go already. You know, they already had a bunch of things ready to go and ready to record, and didn't have time to do it.
and also offences to do.
Well, the offences to commit as well, yes.
Yeah. But that was fair. But there's also All Night Holiday. That got in the top 20 as well.
And the interesting thing about both of those is they were written by...
I don't know.
Well, this is an interesting thing because there's a direct lineage to interesting content here.
Can we have that as the hook line for the thing?
The strap line for the episode.
Yeah, that's the one. No, for everything. For all of it.
PantoSplaining. There's a direct line to something more interesting.
Yeah. You know, it might not be us, but we'll get there somewhere. Don't worry about it.
Russ's singles were written by a man called Steve Rodway, who had been a sort of failed pop star in the early 80s, but went on to form Motivate.
Oh.
Famous for some great dance bangers of the 90s and that classic remix of Common People by Pulp.
Yeah, there's some
So
fantastic...
there's the direct line from Russ Abbot to Pulp is basically 1 degree of separation.
That is amazing. I genuinely didn't know that.
Didn't you? I
no,
thought
I
I'd banged
didn't.
on about that before.
Well, you know, but again, that involves me listening. I only do it when we're being recorded. You know, when we're in real life, I don't. Yeah, Let's Go to the Disco, which is an extraordinarily odd song, which one of my favourite things ever is there's a New Year's programme ITV put on, and it's made in Scotland. It's an STV production, and See You Jimmy is on there, and it's like...
Or Jimmy McJimmy, to give him his original name.
That is fair. He's that's probably his most famous character.
Yeah.
His Scotsman character. He's incomprehensible, apparently.
Is this him on the cover, by the way? Is that supposed to be... Is that See You Jimmy on the poster?
I think so, because Vince Prince is his other big one, who's kind of like a spiv, kind of an old 50s throwback kind of character.
Hello, Vince.
Hello, Les.
Oh, what you do that for?
Do what?
Isn't it? And by this point, this is 82, but he's already got lots of well-established characters, which you can see down the side of the booklet. So, you know.
Fritz Cracker there. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Fritz Crackers and I come from Switzerland, but unfortunately I don't speak a word of English. That was his catchphrase.
And that kind of gives you an idea if you've never seen Russ Abbot stuff. Very silly, very family-friendly, very of the time.
Interestingly, here's something from the Encyclopedia of Classic Saturday Night Telly by Jack Kibblewhite and Steve Williams.
Oh, yes.
That fellow inmate of the Madhouse, Dustin G, had been working himself up to impersonate David Bowie when he decided that the red wig ordered as part of his costume looked out of place. Spying the discarded hairpiece, Abbott decided on a whim to try it out with his new character. And the incomprehensible jock appeared. And as they say, the rest is history.
Oh, well, and what history it is too. Abbott was so famous. He was on the front of the TV Times several times, including Christmas. He was on the big Christmas one. And he was actually so big that when he jumped to the BBC in the middle of the decade, LWT was still repeating his shows right up to basically and beyond him being on the BBC, which is an interesting thing. But as you said, more or less the same show, different theme tune. You get the Songs of Joy, Tears of Laughter on the BBC one, and the kind of interesting animated titles and stuff.
Songs of joy and tears of laughter are all we need to lift our hearts. Inventing people, finding names, crazy songs, crazy games with songs of joy and tears of laughter.
Both Russ Abbott and the Les Dennis, as it was now, Laughter Show, to sort of continue to about 91, didn't they? That which was that cut-off point for 80s trad acts. You know, like that's when Little and Large finished and...
that was the last gasps if you didn't find a new sort of vehicle, which Les did, obviously, as we'll come to, but so did Russ.
He saw the way the winds were changing and moved into sort of... Well, it was sitcoms originally, wasn't it?
But more sort of serious acting in that... It was a sitcom September song. He did. He ended up moving back to ITV. He did some more sketch shows on there, and also he did one episode of Stars in Their Eyes.
Yes.
When original host Leslie Crowther crashed his car.
Russ was not seen at the side of the road with a bottle of thumbtacks as Les careered into the central reservation.
I mean, he might have done Terry Scott, but he didn't do that one. See previous editions for details.
Oh, yeah. There's a vast array of PantoSplaining stories if you want to go back into our archive.
Yeah, most of them not libelous as well, which is nice. The other thing as well, he bafflingly appeared as the Al Bundy character in the British attempt at making Married with Children called Married for Life. And I tried to watch one. I watched some at the time and thought, like, this is bobbins. And it's because Russ Abbot isn't that guy. He always seemed like an affable, nice guy. I get why he might want to play against type, but...
You know, today will go down in history as the day when nothing went wrong. Yeah, the lights were green all the way to work. Then I managed to miss the Chris Evans show on the radio. Oh, best of all, some miserable old so-and-so came into the shop and shouted at me. But then he went out and got bitten by a guide dog.
If you're going to import a sitcom, I always prefer it if they're
funny,
adapted a bit better. Not better, but more radically. You know, you've got to really dig down and treat it as something new.
Yeah. Russ, he's not doing as much these days and didn't kill Captain Tom, no matter what Cliff Richard says. But you see...
no matter what you say.
Well, this is true. I mean, he got his call-up papers for Last of the Summer Wine. That's how long he's been in the biz.
Oh, yeah.
That end... cast when it's him, Brian Murphy, and Burt Kwok. It's like, what's happening? Imagine you've been in a coma for 30 years. And
I think if you'd been in a coma for 30 years, it'd be the perfect show to watch.
To be fair, it would. I love Last of Summer Wine, ladies and gentlemen, but that's beside the point. I went back to the newspaper archive for this specific performance, this Great Yarmouth show.
Oh, good.
And found a couple of interesting news pieces.
Yeah.
TV comic in Pony Row.
Okay.
TV comedian Russ Abbot is incensed by accusations of ill-treating a pony in his Great Yarmouth summer show. Big Russ, who rides, in speech marks, a small white pony in a cowboy sketch, has received letters complaining he is cruel to ride such a tiny animal. What these people don't realise is that I don't actually ride the pony, says Russ. I'm over 6 feet tall, so even over the saddle, my feet are on the ground. I'm really walking, and that's what makes the whole sketch so funny. Russ is especially angry because he is a patron of the Horses and Ponies Protection Society. In fact, he seems such a nice man. In a Daily Star article I found later on, he said, I lay awake picturing in my mind the whole terrifying drama, step by step, of my children getting hurt. I've had strong fences put all around my garden to keep the kids in. A child can never be replaced or forgotten. If I lost one through my own carelessness, I would feel guilty for the rest of my life.
Yeah, I've got it. He's saying at the end of every stage show, I warn all the children in the audience, don't talk to strangers. Well, that's brilliant. That's what everybody wants at the end of a comedy show, isn't it?
Yeah. But don't get nonced.
Yeah.
Don't get nonced. I also, another thing from that run in the Mirror as well, it said, something is puzzling Madhouse comedian Russ Abbot, currently appearing at Great Yarmouth. Right. He gets a lot of laughs, but not so much applause. They obviously enjoy the show because they roar with laughter, but some of them don't actually applaud. He thinks it's due to the influence of television, as people have got so used to being entertained at home, they don't need to clap. So when they come to the theatre, they've forgotten they're supposed to applaud. That's what you say, isn't it? When you're on, your turns are on.
Come on, everybody! Don't forget to clap. I said, bring back clapping at home. If Russ Abbot does something funny on your telly, I think the family should applaud.
Yeah, I agree. And we should stand for the Queen.
Yeah.
She can't, but somebody should. I think that's fair.
Well, there's a really good interview with Matthew Sweet from 2001. So about halfway between now and the sort of 1976 Flares era. Russ successfully repositioned as a straight actor and West End musical lead. Bear in mind, this is 2001, so
yeah. He
still gets work, still gets recognised, and still lives comfortably on the luxurious private estate in Surrey that was briefly home to General Augusto Pinochet. When Fergie lived there, he used to clock her in the gym. He's always bumping into Brucey at the local supermarket. Nanette Newman is also one of his neighbours. But as for the visit of the Generalissimo, well, Russ says, it was a fiasco. A nuisance. One of my friends lived next door to him, and he said it was a nightmare with the 24-hour floodlights and police helicopters and the cordon. A news crew stopped me on the golf course and asked me about it. What do you say? I said that I felt sorry for the victims of these circumstances, that justice would prevail and the powers that be would sort things out without going down the road of saying, he's a dictator, he was cruel. I wasn't going to stamp my feet and raise the freedom flag.
You know what? There are some times that you can actually. It's probably you can stand up and say, you know what? I think dictators are a bad thing. Not too controversial. I don't think you're getting cancelled for it.
Another little bit here. We begin to discuss the internet, but don't get very far. Russ doesn't actually own a computer and is therefore unlikely to be impressed by the company that is currently holding www.russabbot.co.uk to ransom for £200, which is a shame. Because at www.jimmycricket.co.uk you could listen to an electronic rendition of an Irish jig, and nicholasparsons.co.uk has an interactive game called Parsons Knows. At the very least, Russ could have a page which you could download, Atmosphere. I can still remember the shock, says Matthew Sweet, with which certain black jumper-wearing school friends of mine greeted the news to me that Russ Abbot had recorded a song entitled Atmosphere. Doing a cover version of a Joy Division number. That night's Top of the Pops revealed the truth of the matter, a totally different song. A cheerfully tuxed Abbot jigging his hips at a windswept poolside barbecue, crooning about how pleasantly energised he felt at such social situations. Russ has never heard of Joy Division. And why would he?
I mean, I feel that would have been a great Madhouse parody. Joy Davidson or something like that could have done. It would have been good. I'd have enjoyed that.
Yeah,
there you go. So there's Russ, well covered. We can only go into sort of small detail as much as we can, but he's one of those people which, depending on your age, a huge star, or that bloke who did that weird song in the disco back in history. And we're going to go back now to Patti Sommers, who is an actress and vocalist who is on this poster. And she seems to be Birmingham-based. And there's not a massive amount on her, but thankfully her IMDb, which lists her as actress, even though she's got 2 listed credits, Gangsters in 1976 as singer and Winter's Love in 2014 as landlady. But... it says, Patti Sommers is a singer and actress. Patti has released 4 singles and an album under 4 different names. Her first single was Paper Dreams on Polydor under the name Patti Lane. The second single, Mouth, was with Decca under the name Claire. The next 2 singles featured Patti doing her own backing vocals and calling herself Patti and the Patettes. Finally, Patti released an album under her own name of Patti Sommers. The album was called The Last Night, the album title taken from the last track of the LP. In addition to these recordings, Patti was a regular with the BBC Radio Orchestra with over 300 broadcasts to her credit, and was a regular on BBC's Pebble Mill at 1, as well as making guest appearances on The Golden Shot and other TV programmes. Patti was also a winner of BBC's Rising Stars. And we'd like to thank Tony Quincy Joya there for that IMDb mini biography, which...
Who would he be?
Is her husband. It's Patti Sommers' husband. But, you know, you might as well get the information from the horse's what's name and everything.
Our good associate, David Bryant, 23 Daves of this parish, has covered the Claire single Mouth on his blog. The B-side being a version of Hole in My Shoe. Played sort of completely straight as a light-hearted country song with all the psychedelic sort of musical references removed. And it's actually quite boring.
Sounds it.
In the sky where an elephant's eye was looking at me from a bubblegum tree, and all that I knew was the hole in my shoe, which was letting in water.
I mean, interesting. I went on BBC Genome and to see what she had on there. Like I said, lots of radio on that, but she had a local show. I think it might have just been a one-off called Hits and Misses. Eddie Gray and Patti Sommers are host and hostess for this half hour of music and comedy, dedicated to the proposition that marriage can not only be harmonious but fun too. So I don't know what happened to Eddie Gray.
How are you spelling that? Eddie Gray.
Eddie Gray. The pipes are calling.
It's difficult to tell. There's quite a few Eddie Grays.
Yeah, that's what I found as well. Also a common name is Des Lane, but thankfully for us, this is Des Lane, the Penny Whistle Man.
Yeah, I couldn't really find out a lot about him other than that he was the penny whistle man, so I'm hoping you've got something here.
Well, it says actually in the booklet, there is a little bit of a write-up in the booklet for this, that Des Lane has been around the world on a whistle several times, and a penny whistle at that. He's a merry musical act speaking all languages. However, Des is international in his patter too, being fluent in French. He works frequently on radio, television, and in films, and he made a big selling version of The Happy Whistler. Now, when someone always says, oh yeah, I had a big hit in the past, it's sort of like 1982 when this is from, you could go, yeah, all right, yeah, no one's looking that up. I looked out on the 7th of June 1956, The Happy Whistler by the Cyril Stapleton Orchestra featuring Desmond Lane did indeed reach number 22 in the charts.
Did they even have a top 22 back in those days?
I mean, they probably were on strike for those extra two. They'd really worked hard for that to make it into a top 22. Again, as an artist yourself, that is what you aim at, isn't it? The top 22, that's the...
If you get to 23, you're nobody. 22, that's where you want to be.
How many top 22 singles have you had?
I've had 3, 4 if you count Germany, which I do.
What did that get to be higher than 22 though?
It got 222 in Germany, yeah.
Oh, well, that's it, perfect. I didn't even know that.
No, do you know what? When I started that sentence, I'd forgotten.
Well, everything, it all comes together here on PantoSplaining. Yeah, apparently Des appeared in summer season with Russ quite a bit around this time. He seems to have been someone, I'm guessing people of a certain age would recognise.
The clip of him we are seeing here is him from the good old days. And it seems like a great act, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, he does come on and play the clarinet a bit later on, which seems a bit complicated. But the idea of playing the penny whistle, I think, really appeals because it's a fairly easy instrument to play. So to get good at it, it'd take work, but not to the extent of another classical instrument. And he's got such a great charismatic stage presence that, he comes on, does the penny whistle, dances about, he gets the crowd going. It's a really good act.
Yeah, he does. I can see why he fits perfectly in a bill like this, a variety bill.
I'm contemplating doing it myself. I'm contemplating digging out my penny whistle and becoming a virtuoso.
Have you got a penny whistle?
Yeah.
Or is it a penny whistle setting on your synth?
No,
maybe that's it. Maybe you need to take the act into the 20th century.
Johnny Matthews, the penny whistle man, the synthesizer preset.
You can sample that if you want.
All right, I will.
One of your hits, one of your top 22 hits. With that. Again, some of the names are bigger than other ones, and it's quite nice to stumble upon people and go, oh, yeah, they're cool, and hopefully this has educated people.
He had a long career, though, didn't he? I mean,
Yeah.
So, a successful long career. So, we can't really dismiss him as a lowercase name on the poster.
No, it's simply because you've got huge names on this poster.
Well, below Des in that booklet, it says, are you on holiday? Bring the family to the Great Yarmouth races. Then it says children free. Now, does that mean children get in for free or there will be no children there?
Oh, that's a good point. I mean, it would have a dash, when it children free. Or maybe it's just, take a child, don't pay. Back in them days, you could get away with that sort of thing a lot more. It's terrible time.
I'm not on holiday. I don't have any children, so let's move on.
Well, as I said, it's like, when it comes to names,
Yes.
We have names that have kind of faded away, names that people over a certain age know, and then you've got names like Les Dennis.
Yeah.
The French fire engine, I'll say.
Good.
That still resonate, that people still know.
Real name?
Leslie Hesseltine.
Yeah. Les Hesseltine, what a great name.
Lesseltine.
Lesseltine.
And I said, Les is still really well known, and I think it's not unfair to say that he had a period where he became a bit of a punchline. Certainly around the time where he was being cheated on by Amanda Holden, his much younger wife. But he's gone on to be a serious actor. He's gone back to proper acting, and everybody loves him again now. It's great.
He became a bit of a national treasure, didn't he, when the Amanda Holden stuff was going on, because everybody kind of felt a bit sorry for him.
Yeah.
And, he's always been such a nice man that did he do Big Brother around the same time as well?
Yes, yeah, would it be, yeah.
His status as national treasure was probably cemented round about then, whereas Amanda Holden, Neil Morrissey, who are they these days?
I mean, I don't think there are... Amanda Holden is on a very big radio programme, but I despise her, and I think everyone I know despises her. And Neil Morrissey's a knobhead.
Yeah.
But yeah, Les started very young, at 14 as an impressionist. Went to the same school as John Lennon, apparently.
Everybody in Liverpool went to the same school as John Lennon. I sometimes think there's only one school in Liverpool.
That's it. Liverpool Comprehensive. If you went to Liverpool Comprehensive, why not let us know on the socials? Don't ban us. Please don't ban us like the Sun. We're not that bad. But yeah, he won ATV's New Faces, then appeared on stuff like The Comedians, Who Do You Do, Seaside Special, and Paul Daniels' Blackpool Bonanza, which is... Yeah, I know.
Hey, that
I
sounds
know.
pretty good.
But it's weird because he kind of like, he did New Faces and everything, but then he just kind of stayed in the clubs. Nothing really massive happened. He did a bit of telly, a lot of club work, but clearly a huge name in the clubs, big popular name. But it wasn't until Russ came calling and sort of brought him to TV that he became a household name.
He'd put the effort in the clubs. You know, he'd become known as this character who would never leave the stage no matter how bad the act was going. He'd really paid his dues in clubland, I think, throughout the 70s, hadn't he? And so it was when he did make it onto the TV, he was...
Well, I think that's a lot of the 80s variety acts, so whatever you think about them, people like Little and Large, Cannonball, they all came up through the clubs, and they literally had like 10, 15 years, some of them, honing the act. So that's why they sort of hit big in the 80s, I think. And, you know, definitely for Les, who was just part of Russ's sort of second Bananas, but paired with another second banana on that, who you've previously mentioned, Dustin G, who I've got to be kind. He seemed a lovely man, but crap. He's rubbish. He's rubbish. He can sort of do Russell Harty a bit, and obviously he does Vera with the famous Mavis impression that from Coronation Street.
You gotta get a man.
Well, I don't really know.
You gotta get a man.
Do you really think so?
You gotta get a man.
What's a butchie's just as good?
You gotta get a man.
Look, I don't know that I should.
It's interesting then that they escaped to the BBC before Russ, as you said, for the Laughter Show.
Yeah.
Which is exactly the same format, pretty much. But it's not good, but it's quite charmingly not good. And
The repertory cast of characters in the various series have included some quite interesting names. Craig Ferguson, Gordon Kennedy and Mark Heap all paid their early showbiz dues on The Laughter Show with Les.
yeah, I mean, the pilot is just called The Laughter Show, and it's like, it's more divided between them and other acts, including Hale and Pace, who were doing the management on it, the primetime BBC one, which seems weird now, but then again, they were doing primetime ITV not long after that. So it's weird now because the whole thing with like Dustin G really clouded him for a bit, you know, because Dustin G died during a run of pantos in early January 1986. In fact, to the point where Dennis had to actually do the rest of the dates with Jim Bowen, pretending that his friend and his double act partner hadn't just died because they were contracted to do it. And they were also at the start of a new series of The Laughter Show. And literally one episode had gone out when he died.
Yeah.
So like the rest of it went out was like a posthumous tribute, which must have just... That'd break anyone's brain.
January 86, and it was really genuinely big news as well at the time. In my 1986 diary, wrote Dustin G died today, and I didn't write anything current affairs back then. Because, you know, really, they were both stars really on the ascendance with this primetime BBC show that had just started. I mean, I don't think Dustin G had been on telly long, had he, up until that point, as a big name?
No, and he was older. He
Yes.
was in his mid-40s when he died, but he was older than Les by quite a bit, so I think his time had come as well, and he embraced it, definitely. And just for a few years, they were like, as a double act, just absolutely massive.
Yeah.
Oh, speak to me, Kirk.
Can't do the voice, I told you.
Well, never mind. Congratulations, you've won a prize. You're playing for big money. But first of all, you've got to do for us an impersonation
Of?
Jasper Carrot.
I don't want to do Jasper Carrot, I told you. I want to do Amos Braley from Emmerdale Farm. Nay. My goodness. Right, that's what I want to do.
I feel, before we go on to the next stage of Les's career, I want to bring up an article I found.
Okay.
It's from the Northampton Chronicle and Echo. It's from Monday, the 26th of January, 1987.
Right.
I've contacted Dustin, medium.
Oh.
There is nothing in the respectable, bespectacled figure of James Byrne to suggest that he is unusual. James, 32, would not look out of place behind a bank counter or arranging mortgages.
Okay.
But when he walks the streets of his native Bolton, Lancashire, people are wont to give him strange looks or whisper as he passes by. Some even think he's a bit of a nutter. For James Byrne is a medium, or a medium extraordinaire to be exact. And it must be true, because that's what it says on his passport.
Oh.
James can count a host of showbiz stars amongst his fans. Last year, he gave a demonstration of his powers to an all-star audience at a Blackpool theatre. All the big names were there, he says proudly. Les Dawson, Cannonball, Diston G. I assume that's a spelling mistake by the newspaper. Les Dennis.
I thought for a minute there, when he said all the big names were there, he was going to list a load of people who were dead, like, Tommy Cooper, Eric Morecambe. They were all there.
Oh, yeah. But I mean,
and then I thought, Les Dawson was still alive back then. That's why I was very confused for a second.
Tommy Cannon's still alive, so that does count as well, at time of recording. He struck up an immediate friendship with Dustin and was devastated when the comedian died a year ago. But of course, being a medium, James wasn't all that surprised. I did get a warning of sorts, said the man, now billed as Britain's leading male spiritualist. I'd like to see that league table. I told Dustin that he and Les would split up in January. I just had a feeling that they wouldn't be together anymore. He wouldn't believe me. Bernie Winters, Bernie without an E on the end of it, just once again, local newspapers in the 80s, has had a back for 20 years. I assume bad back. James says, I put my hands on his back for 3 minutes. The pain went away and has never come back. Not surprisingly, Winters was delighted. And when Schnorbitz, his co-starring St. Bernard, had a spot of bother a few months later, Winters immediately got in touch with him. Schnorbitz had a bad leg, says James. He couldn't get on and off the stage properly. So James raced to the rescue, putting his hand on Schnorbitz's leg and cured the dog immediately. What I'm saying is he might have wanked off Schnorbitz. But there was a lineage of Schnorbitz, so they had to continue.
Yeah.
Also, was it? I'm sure Schnorbitz was a girl.
Just get a new Schnorbitz in if it's not getting.
I mean, I would get a new Bernie Winters in before I got a new Schnorbitz and put him down in a paddock.
I've just looked up key male spiritualists of the 1980s to see if he is one of them. He's not listed.
Oh, yeah.
He's not listed here, but Maurice Barbanel is, but he died in 1981. Founding editor of Psychic News, serving as the physical voice spirit guide Silver Birch. He delivered philosophical lectures and teachings for decades. Gordon Smith became a household TV name in later decades. The 80s were a critical period of intense development for Smith, earning the nickname the Psychic Barber due to his background.
He's a bastard.
The Psychic Bastard. Then we've got Colin Fry. He became famous 20noughties.
Yeah.
Known at one point under the stage name Lincoln. And that's all. That's the only 80s spiritualists I can find. So it was a short list that this guy was the top of,
and also apparently wasn't on. So tangential, I appreciate, but I thought that'd be a story that the people would love to hear.
Oh, they'll enjoy that. That's going to go viral on TikTok. That is. But before Les had been on with Russ, his talent for impersonation had attracted the major labels of the world, including Amazon Records, and he released a single called The Imagination Game, which we will have a little listen to now.
Now Captain Marvel has a magic word, Shazam, and nobody swings with the ease of Spider-Man. Did you ever have a wish to swim like a fish or fly like an aeroplane? Well, it's easy when you play the old imagination game.
I normally look up Discogs for all these because every actor at some point or comedian has put a single out if they were around in the 70s and 80s. But I never thought to check with Les, and that is...
As you listen to this and you listen to the first minute of it, you understand why Les has not released a string of singles. It's basically the first minute of him singing a sort of song about use your imagination to create new worlds or that. And then the rest of it is this monotonous one chord whilst he does his impressions over a country music backing track.
You could ride shotgun for Big John Wayne on the Great Welsh Fargo State. Well, I I'd like to say it's good to have you aboard, Kincaid.
But you see, that sounds like it could have been a bigger hit if it was just the impressions, you know. It was like songs like that King of the Cops around, you know.
Well, the B-side, it just sort of fades in again, and he just keeps going for another 3 minutes.
You know, there's that story about New Order recording The Perfect Kiss and how the 7-inch isn't an edit of the 12-inch, they just carried on. So they kind of recorded enough of the 7-inch and then carried on. So that's why it sort of just fades in and they just continue. And that's presumably the same thing here.
Well, yeah, when he said the Imagination Game parts 1 and 2, I wondered if Les had done some sort of kind of prog rock masterpiece. But it turns out,
doesn't it? Yeah.
I should say we've got Agnes Guano to thank for that, who has uploaded that to SoundCloud, and that's the only place I've been able to find it. So thank you to you.
They know their awkward old records. Definitely. Yes, I mean, it's nice to sort of look at aspects of Les that don't get mentioned, because obviously him being on Family Fortunes was a huge thing. He was on Family Fortunes for like about 15 years. And weirdly, when I found when Family Fortunes began, the night it began on ITV, he was also on doing the Les Dennis Laughter Show on BBC One as well. So he was fairly dominant in the late 80s, for definite. And in some ways it became the undoing of him, because he became our survey says man. I mean, probably did a lot of like work. He probably did club work, and he probably did maybe even some acting and that, but it wasn't what he was known for. And there wasn't a lot of vehicles he was doing. Like the Laughter Show kind of wrapped up in the end of the 80s, early 90s, and he just did Family Fortunes. Like, they didn't give him another format, did they, really?
No.
And it's a shame, because, as I say, it was always very, very good. And it's only sort of when you see basically anyone who's presented Family Fortunes since him, certainly Gino D'Acampo, just how hard it is to be light, funny, not overbearing, you know, keep the contestants, the stars and all that stuff. It's a hard job, and he does it very well.
He came after Bob Monkhouse. Did Bob do it first?
It was Bob, and then it was Max Bygraves.
Does Max never seem particularly comfortable at it?
No, he's terrible.
So Les coming in after Bob Monkhouse and taking him out for so long was a mark of how natural he is at these things.
Yeah, and I guess the other thing with it as well is that it sort of became a bit of a ubiquitous schedule filler. But it was big Saturday night telly.
Yeah, a classic format.
You know, he did that for a bit, and as I say, he had this kind of period where, you know, the post Amanda Holden cheating with Neil Morrissey stuff is, you know, he became a bit of a sad sack, and he played up to that in stuff like Extras and that. But I'm very fond of him in the club sections of Bang Bang, It's Reeves and Mortimer.
Yeah.
Me and my friends would regularly say, "My fat mother wants to have sex with you." I don't want to have sex with anyone's fat mother.
What the hell was that then?
Paul, that's right. Kinky Joe has just shot Chris's fat mother in mistaken belief as Les Dennis. I'm aghast.
He's brilliant. He pitches that so well. He gets it. He's so funny in that. And I think he appears in Monkey Trousers later on as well. So he did a bit of stuff with Vic and Bob. And obviously they came up with Les Denis on the video version of Shooting Stars, the French Fire.
Oh, is that right? Is that where that first came from?
Yeah. And, you know, he's happy to have a bit. He's got a good sense of humour about his place in the world, I think.
He's not a lovey. That's the beautiful thing. He started out in comedy, so he's obviously got a sense of humour. He's a well-balanced, nice man. And I think that's why he can do all sorts of... He can do pretty much everything these days. Anything that people ask him to do, he...
Yeah, like did Corrie and stuff, yeah.
Good for him. Good for him.
Good for him. And he was actually added to the Liverpool Legends Hall of Fame in 2025, which is as good an achievement, genuinely, I think, as it could be, because it's all come back full circle. And
I've just remembered something. He was the first celebrity I ever saw in real life.
Was it?
The local hospital in Preston in about 1985. I think he was supposed to be there with Dustin G, but Dustin was ill.
Was Dustin in the hospital?
No, he was not in the hospital. Possibly foreshadowing. But there's definitely some photographs I took of him doing his Mavis Riley impression in front of a rather excitable crowd. Yeah.
Yeah, well, again, another big star, absolutely, of the time. And again, so we look at these, and there are names of different sizes, as I've said. And this next one, not only is it quite a long name, comparatively, but it's a name which means nothing, I think, to anyone under. I mean, what do you think is the youngest someone will have heard of Roger de
He
Courcey?
can't have been on telly since the late 80s, other than being an ironic presence on the Harry Hill show, whatever it was.
Yeah, I remember him being on that. But yeah, Roger de Courcey is an interesting one because he starts out as a singer, a bit of a comic, and I believe he's a bit above opera singing. He's quite a voice.
Yeah, I've got him on Discogs in Two Cities, the spectacular new musical based on Charles Dickens' A Tale of Two Cities by Jerry and Jeff Wayne.
Wow.
Starring Edward Woodward and Nicolette Rogue, Elizabeth Power, and he's third from the bottom, listed in... he's listed as Clerk of Court, third from bottom.
And when's that from?
And that is from 1969.
Well, okay. Yeah, so that about checks out. He seems to have just done all right for himself, but then the bear appears and skyrockets him to the very top. And this is Nookie Bear. Put a picture up now. I assume there's a picture of the bear up.
There he is.
You can see why it was popular. And he won New Faces, another one who won New Faces in 1976, beating Jim Davidson. Must have been a delight.
Good.
For him. Because we'd all like to beat Jim Davidson. According to an article in the Leicester Chronicle from March 1976,
okay,
Roger de Courcey says that things have happened so quickly for him in the last few months that when he goes on stage to do his ventriloquial act, he's so tired he thinks, I'll just stand here and let the bear do all the talking tonight.
Did you say ventriloquial?
Yes.
Ah, good.
That is the word.
Fine.
I was using English as its language, which it is. Where did I get the idea of working with a teddy bear from, Countess Roger? A Scout jumble sale.
Okay.
And apparently he'd been working as a jobber on the stock exchange. That's not a human league lyric, basically. And he'd attained several operatic scholarships and found an outlet for his singing in local musical shows, but it was put off entertaining that way because he wanted to be a comedian. And he went on the cabaret trail and found a gig in a scout hut. And he arrived at 8 p.m. only to be told he wasn't required till midnight. And they put him in this room where they'd piled all the stuff for the jumble sale. And amongst all this rubble was a cute little teddy bear. I kicked him around the room for an hour or so. Then talked to him, mostly about what a rotten show this was going to be. And when midnight finally came, I took the bear on stage with me. I rescued him and made him my lucky mascot. No one else worked with one, so I thought the jumble sale bear seemed a lucky omen. I had a new Nookie made with large round eyes and a cheeky expression, and as our family name is Cook and my father was nicknamed Nookie, that's how the bear came to be christened.
Wow.
So I thought I'd read that out because it's a lot of lore and it gets it all in quickly.
He's billed as Roger de Courcey Cook on Company's House, but I couldn't really find out, because Roger de Courcey sounds like such a stage name. I couldn't really find out any more about his history.
It's hard to find his age as well. He's one of those, no one's entirely sure, but he's actually a lot younger than we thought he was. Like when New Faces hits, he's like in his early 30s, but let's just say he had a difficult paper round.
Well, I've got here, because he had a stroke a few years ago, and it inspired his son Jamie to take part in the London Marathon to support the NHS staff who served his dad. Apparently, Roger is better now, not completely recuperated, but much better.
Yeah, I'm glad he's still with us.
He says he's 81 here from an article in 2026.
Yeah, that sounds about right. He is a fascinating character, and again, like with all names on this programme, if it seems like we're taking the mick, it's not. It's purely because these names, we grew up with these names. Nookie Bear is such a thing we grew up with, and I don't remember his children's programme Now for Nookie, made for Southern Television, do you?
No, but it was repeated on Talking Pictures TV about 5 or 6 years ago, possibly even during the pandemic, and I thought, this would be a great... this would be a great thing to tweet along with, and it really wasn't, because nothing particularly much of note happened.
Well, Ozzy, what do you think of the tune? Well, it's not bad. I think the words need changing.
Changing to what, Ozzy?
Well, I thought Nookie can't, Ozzy can. If you want an intellectual tiger Nookie on your man. Oi, Tiger Tin, you're stealing our song. Pack it up, you two. Idiot. Who you calling? You start, mate. I really will. Well, I've got more brains in my head than you got in your little finger. I haven't got any little fingers. You'll have 5 in it, right in that snout. Listen, pack it up, you two. Sorry.
everybody. Lulu, thank you very much for coming on this show. You've been super. To everybody, thank you. I hope to see you again sometime. God bless. Good night.
Yeah, I love that despite the clearly filthy name of the bear, he did get a kids' programme, but that seems to be basically it. He didn't get another series, and he just appeared on stuff. He was like a huge regular, you know, throughout the 80s, definitely on variety shows and panel shows and quizzes and stuff like that, and always with the bear, of course, which I don't know. He never seemed to be bitter, unlike some names that we've previously mentioned on PantoSplaining.
Of course, though, he did go on to artist management and client representation.
Oh, yeah.
Did you know that?
I saw it, and I didn't follow it up.
I'll send you a link then. Dick Courcey Management Limited. Dick Courcey, you see.
I see. It's good.
And there is a website, DHM Limited. But as we enjoy these websites, this one also was last updated in 2007.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's a stage up from, like, some of the ones we've seen, but it's still pretty Web 2.
It's
-4.
Like we say, Roger's been ill recent years, but it was only wound up in 2025, so it was going for quite a long time.
Okay.
But under male actors, we've got two men who look like the same man at different points of life.
Oh, the man on the left, that's the gravy man, isn't it? It's the Oxo man.
It is. It's the Oxo Dad. Yes.
There you go. If anyone wants to book the Oxo Dad for a cameo, I assume he's on there.
Afternoon Speakers is more interesting because we've got some people like Dougie Brown there, Jeff Stevenson, and Lord Digby Jones, who surely must be dead by now. But
fingers crossed.
Ian Richards, who's on a very rickety boat, it looks like, whilst that picture's being taken.
Yeah, the stage gave way mid-picture.
Keynote and motivational speakers, less interesting, but we have got Andrew Castle there, the tennis-playing breakfast host. And Perry McCarthy, he was a sort of a crackpot racing driver who was the first Stig on Top Gear.
Ah, right, okay, yes, I knew the name.
David Kid Jensen, looking not particularly kid-like on presenters. Corporate Cabaret should be fun. This is our wheelhouse, isn't it?
I mean, once again, we could do an entire hour on just these acts.
The Flapdragons. Albert Nelson, the Boris Blank impersonator.
Oh, I was going to say Tom Selleck, but I like yours better. I like yours better. And I don't know what Victoria Cluskey's act is, but I like it.
I know, that's a slightly unusual pose.
I mean, bear in mind you've got a man who's got, is it a potato on a fork on his chin? And it's still not as extraordinary as that.
Steve Rawlings' mixture of desperation and downbeat humour steals the show.
Again, that should be our tagline for this programme.
His balancing a tray of bottles and glasses on his chin while giving a running commentary on his difficulties is a classic piece of comic business.
And I love the fact that the picture of Rog and Nookie is, because it's in black and white, it looks so serious.
It's like it's from the cover of The Observer for their tell-all interview.
Yeah.
The drink, the drugs, the K-pop.
I assume that's the picture that will be on the casket when Nookie dies. That'll be the one. They'll crop Roger out of it, and it'll just be that, sensitive, dramatic.
Like Keith Harris's headstone. That was what will be on Roger de Courcey and Nookie's head, because they'll be buried together, of course.
Well, I assume they've got a special area for.
I bet they have. An old defunct website with people we've never heard of on before. That is very much our
world of dreams. And interestingly, de Courcey is also another former king rat of the Grand Order of Water Rats. He held the role in 1994 between Inman and Daniels, Paul, not Martin P.
Listeners, we have covered the Water Rats, the Grand Order of, in an earlier episode, but we should probably dig deeper into that at some point as well. We kind of glossed over it. It's probably worth a deeper dive, actually.
Yeah, it seems like a very worthwhile thing.
Oh yeah.
But for people like us it's catnip to us who love light entertainment of the past.
There was one other entry on Roger's Discogs page, which was Nookie's song, the rather sappy single with a great picture sleeve. Billed as Roger de Courcey on the cover, but obviously Nookie's lawyers got involved when it came to printing the labels. Nookie does get a full credit on the labels. Bit of that now.
Nookie.
Take a look around, you'll see Nookie everywhere. Nookie, Nookie, we all love a little Nookie there. I'll tell you what, Governor, that was a bit higher, wasn't it?
No, the thing with Roger de Courcey is he's got a nice voice. You can actually hear it in the clip for Now for Nookie when he's singing with Lulu. It's not bad, you know. It's a horrible song in an upsetting cover. And I did look on Discogs for this one. And I saw it was written by Ray Glastonbury, which does who also wrote a Charlie Drake B-side. And Flying High, a song by the 1975 Crystal Palace football squad.
Oh.
And Nothing After Nookie, it seems. And I think, bear in mind that Nookie wears a giant Crystal Palace rosette. Is this a pseudonym?
Oh.
Is this Roger de Courcey's songwriting?
That's not a bad shout,
side?
actually. Yeah, could well be. I could look on the PRS database, I suppose. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at the PRS database.
Let's have a look at the PRS database.
I've got to log in first, and then this will be depressing because it'll show me how little money I've earned. Nookie song written by Raymond Jonathan Glastonbury. It looks. He's written 112 works.
All right.
Maybe he's just like a TV writer or something like that.
Are they not all about Nookie Bear?
They're not all about Nookie Bear. Other songs that Raymond Jonathan Glastonbury has written.
Nookie's Sweet. Nookie Nocturne.
We'll go alphabetically. He's written At Last the King is Dead, Bethlehem, so theme there. Brand New Corduroy, that's one of his. Desperate Dan, Despite What You Say. He wrote Don't Stop Believing, apparently.
A different
Not that one.
No,
Drunk as a Skunk. There's Flying High. Let's go to the ends to see if there's any more Nookie songs.
I mean, I hope he did something like a counter record to Prince Andrew is a Sweaty Nonce.
The only other Nookie song is the B-side, Nookie Bear Rock and Roll Band.
So he probably is a real person. That's right.
Probably is a real person. We've got to the bottom of it. We've got to the bottom of it.
We have. We've got to the bottom of it. And that is where we work around the bottom. We do our best work. And like at the bottom of this poster, which we are now done with the big celebs, but there are still a few interesting names.
Don't switch off just yet. Don't switch off just yet.
Well, you can if you're not. I'm not bothered.
I am.
All right, so don't do that. No, I looked at Bob Taggart in his orchestra, and I couldn't find much on him, but he's a pianist.
What? Sorry.
And a pianist.
Oh, with a T in the end, right?
Not penis. And I couldn't find much on him, but it did lead me to this page of privately pressed vinyl that I'd like to spring on you.
Oh,
now.
Hello.
There we go. So this is the website ST33, and they have a bunch of pages on albums that were pressed,
right?
Obviously privately, just to sell at gigs and stuff like that. And straight away, I mean, Ricky Disoni. I assume that's the man and not the dog.
Maybe it's a duo.
Maybe it is, yeah. Maybe there should be a slash between the two.
There probably was a slash looking at that dog, quite frankly. I'm saying
his band was the Bob Taggart Orchestra, the house group
at
the Talk of the Midlands Club.
Ah.
So that's how he ties into this one. But if you want to look at some of the other ones...
I'm doing it, yes. Let's have a look. Johnny Gold.
With that wonderful font. Which is
I wouldn't play a keyboard that way up, to be honest, quite frankly. That seems foolish. Maybe it's a gimmick. I don't know.
I mean, it must have taken ages to get that on its side.
Yeah. They'll never get it back up again.
And it can't have done the insides any good. Here's all the organs.
Talking of the insides, the phantom fingers of Frida Hall.
Who has decided to try and dress as her Wurlitzer. Although it's also a bit Laurel Yanny, what you call it, the golden blue dress. It's the little bit that it's like, what colour is she wearing?
I love the fact that it says this was issued in 1977, the year the Sex Pistols signed their record deal with Virgin. Who we got here then? Tony Goodacre and Grandma's Feather Bed. And
yes.
I don't want to say anything libelous. He might still be alive. It doesn't look like he'll still be alive.
Tony's surrounded by the children in the east bedroom of Harewood House near Leeds by kind permission of the Earl of Harewood. I've been there. I haven't been in that bedroom. I suspect I'm not one of them kids.
Aren't you?
Although I could be that pony thing that's on the back. I don't know.
And what we got now? The Family Four Singers. Waltzing on the Waves, a souvenir record made for Tour Line.
It's bottoms. It's a lot of bottoms.
A lot of bottoms, yeah. 70s bottoms at that.
A lot of tight male bottoms. Pressed by Polydor Sweden.
And a bald spot.
The final one, Phil Kelly sings, who... He probably sings about how he's colourblind based on the outfit.
He's blind and he got dressed from a completely new wardrobe that morning. It's nice to see Blackpool in the old days, though.
Yeah,
it's a lovely shot of the old.
I just about remember it looking like that from my youth. It's all Willie's now. Another little side bar there.
Well, that was fascinating. That looks like the sort of site I will be spending a long time on.
We also have a couple of other names, don't we?
Yeah, Saxon Lucas, for example.
Directed by Alan Blackburn, choreographer by Nita Howard. Couldn't find much about them. Deco by Saxon Lucas. Again, fantastic phrase.
It is.
And I'm assuming it's not the one.
No. This is the problem.
He was arrested under Operation Spanner in 1989 for acts of sadistic and masochistic violence and acts accompanying a lewd, immoral, and unnatural kind. It's probably not him.
It's an interesting court case, though. We found loads of stuff about it, but we couldn't find out if it was the same Saxon Lucas or there were two. I think the set designer Saxon Lucas was London-based, and I think the BDSM enthusiast Saxon Lucas was Sheffield-based. But if you want to know, the court ruled by a majority that consent is not a valid legal defence for actual bodily harm or wounding, even in private among consenting adults. So safety first, kids, safety first.
Again, no, that's the tagline for this programme. That should be it. As Theatricality says, Saxon Lucas taught at the Mount View Theatre School in Crouch End in the early 70s. This person knew him from 72 through to 73. He was a gifted set designer and builder and a nice bloke. So probably not the one arrested under Operation Spanner, but we don't know. We don't know.
We don't know that. Nice people like a bit of the old, it's clobbering time.
That is a phrase to use. And before we leave this Earth, this show,
there can't be anything else, can there?
I just found a little review, and they asked the public to review the value for money of shows in 1982. Russ Abbot at the ABC Great Yarmouth was given full marks for good value.
Excellent.
John Davies from Wellingborough, Northants, paid £2.90 a head for himself, his wife, and his 2 children. He said...
Well, that's not a lot of money in those days.
He said, I rather resented paying full price for a child, but I realise it's a seat no matter who sits in it. And it was a good show and good value. Not my words, the words of John Davies from Wellingborough, Northants.
It's a seat no matter who sits in it. That's like, this is something you'd see painted outside the church as you drive past or something, or one of those meaningless...
Yeah, it's very Zen, isn't it?
A meaningless neon aphorism you see in a cafe. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, once again, all these phrases could be after PantoSplaining and a colon. So just let us know which one you like the most, and maybe we'll use it in the future. And you should find us on the social media, which is where, John?
PantoSplaining pretty much everywhere. I think one of them, possibly the TikTok, has an underscore in it, but, you'll find us.
Bastard. There's not another PantoSplaining show.
No, there isn't. That's the problem. I couldn't really work out why. I might go back now and see if I can change it.
And that's the kind of internal business that you get here on PantoSplaining with me, Ben Baker.
Internal business with the filthy fingers of Irene, whatever her name was.
Arrested during Operation Spanner. Unlike me, Ben Baker.
Yeah, and me, John Matthews. Yeah. I'll give my name. I'm not afraid of being associated with this broadcast. And me, Alan Smithy.
And me,
anonymous participant,
Dodger Morosi. Des Lennis. That'll do. That'll hold him. Bye.